What kind of budget do you think somebody needs to set aside? Where do you start? So you just finished a book, you need to do all of that. What kind of budget range makes sense for somebody to do those steps?
So there are two or three different factors involved over there if you talk about the budget. So the first factor is exactly what's the kind of quality they have written.
Hmm.
So for example, if they have written something like mine, right? Like I really don't write great book, but yeah, I'm just great at like talking about the ideas, and the ghostwriter or the angel writer, of course, in our team, they are great. They are good at like getting all the information and then they write the book for me. But the thing is that it completely depends on exactly what's the situation of the manuscript. If the situation is good enough, then they can find an editor for not very expensive, right? And if it is really worse, then of course they have to pay more to the editor or proofreader to fix the entire manuscript.
Sure.
And once it is done, it also depends on the word's length, right? Like the book's length. If it is a 200 pages book, then of course it is going to require you to pay more to the editor and proofreader, because of course they go for the word per word thing. And if it is a small book like 50 to 60 pages, then of course you can have less budget. But yeah, like usually these editors, they will be charging you around, depending on your book, they can charge you from like 5 cents to maybe $1 per word.
That's a lot.
It completely depends on. Yep. So, but yeah, like most of these, I would say like, no, not $1. Like it is gonna be for the developmental editing. For most of these people, like who have written the book, it's gonna be a copy editing.
Right.
It is going to be $0.05 to $0.10.
I was going to say, if you need a copy editor for $1 a word, I'm your guy. At that price, I'll do it for anybody.
Yep, right. So of course, like I think it was for the developmental editing. So there are different types of editing involved.
Sure.
But for the copy editing, like it is, I guess $0.05 to $0.10.
Okay.
So once it is done, then comes the proofreading, book cover designing. I would say like if they can set around maybe $10,000 to $15,000, depending on exactly where they depending on the marketing and all of these things. So they can have a really great launch.
10 to 15,000.
They can definitely